Welcome to the Find the Way podcast. In this show, we will try to explore what is happening in emerging markets and how entrepreneurs, investors, and communities are simply finding the way to make phenomenal things happen, regardless how volatile the environment may sometimes seem. Hello, everyone. I'm super excited to present to you today to Martin Cordasco, all the way from Buenos Aires, Argentina. Truly great entrepreneur that is working with the mission to reduce all that waste that happens when our food, our life's necessity will be getting from harvest all the way to our plates. So welcome, Martin. Could you please give a little introduction to yourself?
Hi,
And
how are you?
who's Wiagro? What's your mission?
Yes, I introduce myself. I'm Martin. I'm Martin Cordasco. I'm a telecommunication engineer and CEO or co-founder of Wiagro. I'm very curious since I was a child, disarming some things and repair some things. And we are very passionate to solving problems through technologies. For this reason, I'm a study engineer. This is something of my background. I worked in different kind of companies, leading research and develop in research and develop departments. And my final projects in engineering university, I decided to solve one of the most important problems for me around the world is food loss and waste. For this reason, I try to resolve this problem with an academic study of this problem. And Wiagro was born in this moment in the university with 4 co-founders, Ulissa Mikkelsen, Ariel Emilian, Santiago Grandam, and me. We created Wiagro to resolve this problem.
If you could elaborate a little bit more, that you are a combination of hardware and software. You have IoT devices, and then you provide a platform. Can you elaborate on that a little bit?
Yeah, because Wiagro use IoT devices to take the data from the field, okay, using nanosatellite communication, because the food are in places that we don't have cellular coverage or we don't have Wi-Fi, we don't have energy. And for this reason, to take data from the field, we use IoT devices developed by their own, okay? For this reason, we have an engineers that develop these kind of devices that we have 3 premise. We need to be self-installing solution and self-power solution and need to connect globally, okay? For this reason, use nanosatellite connectivity because, for example, we digitalize grains in Australia, in middle of the jungle in Mato Grosso, and in Buenos Aires, in Romania, okay, are in places that don't have connectivity. For this reason, we can send these sensors by FedEx or some another companies, and the producer of the companies install it by their own, okay? And install it by their own, puts in, for example, in a salad bag. The salad bag is a plastic bag that allows the producers to storage more than 2,000 tons of grains, and install it in the salad bags, for example, by their own, and transmit the data to nanosatellites. Then this nanosatellite transmit to our servers in Amazon, and this data is temperature, humidity, dioxide of carbon, movement, and the data by their own is nothing, is unusable. For this reason, use algorithms to transform this data in valuable information to the producer of the company. This valuable information is valuable for putting value the present, the past, and the future of the information. The present, because in the real time, the producers could know where is the status of this food. And the past, using blockchain, allows the producer to sell the food and the information, okay? And in the future, because we have an analytics that could be calculate the risk of a storage, for example, more than 6 months, this food in these storage methods, for example, iron silo bag, we can predict the risk. We can calculate the risk in the future about storage more than 3 months this food, okay?
Yeah.
And we have a platform that can visualize all the information in our platform.
Okay, cool. So then, if I sum it up a little bit, you are integrating IoT sensors into post-harvest shipments that are monitoring temperature, humidity levels, and all that data is being gathered to the cloud via satellite connection. Am I correct?
Yeah.
And this data, this information, you will then analyze and provide for the food producers on how to improve and to reduce their food loss.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, great. And how long have you been playing this game? When were you founded with all your co-founders?
Yes, Wiagro have in 2019 created. Okay.
2019.
I think that have 3 years.
And
we started with 4 founders, and actually we're 15 people working in Wiagro.
Okay, very nice. And how much have you raised to date?
Yes, we are in the seed round of $1 million, and we are raising $700,000.
How much? $700,000 more?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yes.
And if you would describe some of the challenges that you have faced since founding, that would be great for the audience to hear, is that you especially have a combination of hardware and software. How is that journey like in a country where you have relatively a lot of volatility that comes into import and export restrictions and currency fluctuations? Would you be able to share a couple things on that journey? That how have you been able to find a way to make it and move forward?
Yes. I always tell this story because a story. Okay, I for example, I'm pitching for 100 investors. Okay. And I tell about Wiagro and the technology and the problem, and all the investors are very exciting. I like to invest in Wiagro. And when I say I have hardware too, they get up from the room 90 investors and leave from the room. Okay, and I have only 10 investors. And when I tell you I'm from Argentina, 7 left the room too, okay? And I had 3 investors to convince that invest to Wiagro. This is very difficult to write and sit round or another round in Argentina and with hardware, okay? Because Argentina is a great country, okay? It's a great country to live because we have a good weather. We don't have wars or conflicts. We don't have nothing about this. We don't have natural disaster, but we had the most problem is the economy and the instability of Argentina. That is very complicated to be an entrepreneur in Argentina.
Can you elaborate
it's like
why? Like, what are the specific examples that you would be able to give to the audience outside of Argentina and even outside of LATAM? Is that what do you mean exactly by these complex cities?
It's different, but for example, we have at least 10 times of currency exchange. Okay, it's difficult to explain in 5 minutes. We have an annual inflation greater than 100%. 100%. Okay, it's difficult to import and export because the import, export, and import are controlled by the government. Okay. The government say, Martin, you can import or not. Okay, it's very difficult. I think the problem that we don't have politics in the time or state politics. Okay, that's 4, 5 politics for 10, 20 years. Okay, long-term politics, all the time changing the rules week by week. Okay, it's a mess. in this case, it's a mess.
And what do you mean that
we are very flexible?
Week by week change? What do you mean
for
by
example,
that?
For example, this week, okay, it's very actually this week, Massa is Minister of Economy of Argentina, change the way that the companies could export and import. Okay, and this week we are studying the new procediments or procedure to import and export. Currently depends of another department of this. Another department, I think, is the national commercial of Argentina. I don't know, but change the rules to import and export in a week. Okay, tell me, we can import or export because changing the rules. We need to read the new rules and pride that these rules applies to Wiagro to could import and export. For this reason, all the startups in Argentina thinking in the world, not thinking in Argentina. Only think in Argentina to make a proof of concept of the idea of the market and sell outside Argentina. Okay, because it's very difficult to make business in Argentina because we have more than 10 types of currency exchange.
So then
It's difficult to explain.
Yeah, and I just tried to also sum it up a little bit because for me, it was extremely weird, intriguing, a lot of new things that I've never thought that are experiencing in a way that are coming and being living most of my life in extreme stability in Europe and in the US. It's really tough for you to operate in an environment that you cannot rely on your own currency in terms of importing critical components that you need to build your IoT devices because you still have your production in Argentina, right? Currently.
Yes.
And that you never know that are you able to afford those things because the government is controlling the exchange rate, a fixed exchange rate that is very different that you have in the black market, in the gray market. There's a 2x difference. And so because there is an extreme volatility, you don't know, are you able to afford the critical components? You don't know that are you allowed to import those critical components and what quantities? Am I right?
Yeah.
And somehow still you're able to circumvent these, go around these things, these challenges, and find the way to make business. You come up with you mentioned you come up with a very global mindset right from the beginning. You're testing your minimal viable product in the local region, and then you're expanding as soon as possible to other regions.
Yes.
And so what are the other regions where you're heading right now? What are the target markets? Where are you going? And could you also elaborate a little bit on, in order to minimize the risks that comes from the currency fluctuations and import and export challenges, how do you try to go around these challenges? And how are you doing this?
Yes, we are thinking in Brazil. Is in the neighborhood, is the biggest country, and we have a huge market in agriculture. And this next step for all AgTech startups in Argentina. Next step is Brazil. Another step is the United States, but Brazil is a huge country. It's difficult to be an entrepreneur in Brazil too, yeah, but it's not like in Argentina because we have rules. Okay, I don't know, it's Lula or Bolsonaro, the exchange is the same. You have the same economicals, politicals, changes a little, but you have an stability, okay? And we are thinking in products in Brazil and sell in Brazil. And we are thinking in products in Brazil or in Uruguay and try to import with another company that could import in Argentina and provide the market in Argentina. But we are thinking in sell more outside Argentina than inside in Argentina, okay? We are thinking in sell in another countries, not only in Argentina.
Yeah.
In Argentina, we have developed the market, but in Brazil and in another country, we are starting to develop this for the market in Romania too, in Australia too.
And how are you then managing your operations in a way that you have, if we go back a little bit, that you have a very large unpredictability in terms of accessing imports and accessing critical components. Is all of your OPEX operational expenditures in Argentine pesos, or what currency you're typically using to? Are you using cryptos? Are you using US dollars, or are you using Argentine pesos? How is this set up with Wiagro, that how you
It's
can
difficult
manage your
because,
operational expenditures?
for example, if you produce products in Argentina and sell outside Argentina, for example, in Brazil, pay in dollars, but the government of Argentina converts these dollars to pesos. Okay, you can access to dollars. The company can convert pesos into dollars. Okay, we don't have access to the currency. Obviously, in the black market, yeah, but we are a company. We can access to these markets. Okay, and for this reason, we try to sell outside Argentina, creating company outside Argentina. Okay, because if you sell from Argentina, you receive pesos, and then tell to the government, okay, with these pesos, I need dollars to pay to China and make an import, and the government said, no, you can make an import. And I provide dollars to the government, but the government don't provide dollar to me to buy my chips or whatever that I need to produce in Argentina. It's very difficult. For this reason, we create a company in Uruguay, and we are thinking create a company in Brazil to resolve this problem. Okay, sell to another company from another country, not from Argentina.
Okay, so that's
It's
how you're
sad, but
finding a
it's
way to
true.
go
Okay.
around it. That you have created entities
Yes.
to Uruguay, maybe to Brazil, and then do you also have a US based corporation that takes the fundraisers? Yeah.
Yeah.
And what has happened? Do you have any stories to tell? The government has banned imports for your critical components for your IoT devices. Do you have any stories to tell on that? Has that happened recent times?
Yeah. Yes. This week. Yes. I have a lot of stories. I have many stories. I could write a book. Okay.
I think you should. I think you should. I
don't
think that
know.
people need to hear these things.
Yes. I know if I can tell all of them. Okay. I need to talk to the legal department, but I'm joking. Okay. But yes, for example, we have to sell devices to a big customer in Brazil in the middle of a pandemic situation, and we don't have sensors, okay, to manufacture. We don't have CO2 sensors to manufacture our products, and we tell with some another startup from Uruguay, and tell you can import this sensor to me and sell it by FedEx or by Buquebus. This a ship that connects Argentina to Uruguay, and we resolve quickly making this. Okay, obviously increase the cost of our products, but the most important thing for us is a customer. We need to lead time to complete, and for this reason, we use another company, Uruguay, to help us to resolve this problem. This is one of the stories.
What's the reason that you're not able to import directly to Argentina?
Because the government not allowed us. We have currently we have 2 months. We can't import nothing. 1 pesos we can import. The government allows Wiagro to import 1 peso
worth of goods,
only 1 pesos
in a 2-month period of time.
We have 2 months. We can't import nothing.
And why is that?
Because the government why is the question? We don't know. Okay, the government say no and put excuses. Okay, we have own rules. We have own rules to import, but the government say, no, we do need some papers of this. You present this paper and said, no, we need another paper, and then paper by paper by paper, and the time passes.
Yeah.
We have 2 months. We can import nothing.
And
nothing.
these rules and regulations are changing very often.
Yes. Yes. I think currently 2 weeks.
Wow.
2 weeks by change regulation.
Wow.
Last week was the last one.
And still, somehow, you're able to make it and find a way to deliver good service to your customers. This is just amazing for me to hear in a way that,
for example, another story is, for example, we have some partner. We make a partnership with another company that buy a lot of sensors, and we buy the sensors to this company to provide this sensor for another company. Okay, take the stock from our partner. We buy the sensor for our partner and sell to our customer. Okay, we take this sensor for our partner and sell to our customer. Obviously, we have more costs. We don't win money. We lost money in this operation, but we prefer this to lose the customer. Okay. Yes, and I don't know. We travel to Uruguay to get the sensors. We make a lot of things, different things. Most important thing is not lose our customers, and the lead time of our customers is very, very important for us. Okay, and we make what we have in hands to resolve these problems. We have different strategies, okay, to resolve, but all the time change the strategies because all the times change the politics and the rules, and all the time we will be flexible.
And how are you taking that personally? How are you taking that personally? Because the journey of an entrepreneur is always hard, right? No matter what you do and where you're trying to make it, most of the entrepreneurs are doomed to fail, and the statistics are very much against the success. We have lots of those, but this is incredible for me that how you're still finding the way, and based on your stories and the amount of obstacles that you have, you're still finding the way to deliver value to your customers. And so how are you handling this personally? All this stress, all this uncertainty, how are you coping with that?
We are very flexible, okay, to uncertain and crisis, all the time having crisis, okay? But we lost a lot of time in this kind of try to resolve this kind of problems that this is a regulatory problem, political problem, economical problem, and we lost a lot of time try to resolve this problem. Okay, we resolve, okay, and you don't understand why, but we need this time to our startup to, for example, validate the business model, to thinking in a strategy outside Argentina, to thinking in a strategy to reduce the cost of the sensor, to improve the platform. And we use this time to resolve the crisis. All the time we'll be in a crisis. And this is different to another country because being an entrepreneur is very difficult in all countries, but in Argentina is in the war zone, okay? This is incredible. It's very difficult.
So you're in a war zone all the time. For example, so then these challenges are really not, they're just part of your daily life.
Yes.
This is how you grew up.
Yes, we are stressed all the time. We try to joke about this because, but we are joking all the time, but it's very, very, we have a stress. This is I have, for example, we work in the nights, we work all the time, okay? Try to resolve this problem. Sometimes we can sleep, try to resolve this problem. We have a lot of stress, but not only for try to resolve the business model or have a technical problem to resolve. This for resolve the Argentine problems, the economics, the politics, the regulation. We spend a lot of time to resolve this problem, and spend a few time to resolve the most important problem, that being a successful business and a scalable business. And obviously, we spend time try to resolve the business model, to be an scalable startup around the world, to resolve technical problem, but spend a lot of time too to resolve another problems that you don't have in Europe, you don't have in United States. All you have, but in some parts of the year, not all the year, have changed in the relation. You can access to the dollars. It's incredible.
So the ultimate wish for your perspective as an entrepreneur in Argentina would be just to have stability. The stability would enable you to focus more on your go-to-market strategy.
Yes.
To be able to polish up the product into the next level, next versions, next iterations. But
yes,
unpredictability creates so much extra hassle and extra headaches that it takes time away from focusing on the core business, right?
Yes. Yeah. This is a most important problem.
And how do you now then
in Argentina?
You are about to go for another stage of fundraising. How do you see that the landscape has evolved in terms of acquiring more funds, getting more working capital? How is that environment in Argentina, and how do you see that has it changed in the past 5 years or so?
Now, yes, I think for seed round, an ecosystem in Argentina, we will provide the funds. But if you need more money, we need to try to find it in another countries like Brazil, the United States. For this reason, we need to sell in another country, because venture capital, if you only have an operation in Argentina, sell, okay, this is a very risky operation. For this reason, we need to sell to another countries to raise another round, okay, in another country. In Argentina, it's not possible to raise A series, for example.
Okay, so then when you go to that stage, series A, B, C, and forward, you're always relying on foreign capital that is being injected into your mission.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Very, very, very clear. Then just to ask a little bit on a easier topic, let's say not so stressful. What are the best memories that you've had as an entrepreneur? The positives, the good things?
Yeah, I for example, when I start the year, we are three peoples in Wiagro. Actually, we are 15 people. I can't believe it. Okay, I can't believe it that created this company in Argentina. We are 15 families, okay, and 50 dreams. And I can't believe it that we are creating a sensor with nanotechnology, okay? We are thinking an idea and we are making this idea. And work with, for example, with Ariel, Ulises, and try to believe. We have a dream that we can change the equation in the food loss and waste around the world. And we started, and we prevent, in some cases, food loss and waste using technology. We are living in our dream, okay? This is a more important thing. We need to be a patient, okay, about your idea or to resolve this problem, because we have a lot of problems here in Argentina, and all the time we have problems being an entrepreneur. But for me, it's incredible, because we can change the way that control and control the food around the world and make a global food network. We are starting this to prevent the spoilage of to provide more food, provide the security food around the world, and we are started making by their own in these conditions, and it's incredible. I love to be an entrepreneur.
Great to hear, and it's an inspiring mission to be able to make sure that we have food security, we have more available, good quality food, and most importantly, it doesn't get wasted once it's been produced. And as a final question, would you recommend people to move to Argentina to work within technology? Um, any advice people moving to Argentina, and your thoughts on that?
Yes, like I told you, Argentina is an incredible country. We have natural resource, incredible landscape, an excellent weather, food. We don't have racial problems, climatic catastrophe, wars, armed conflict, terrorism. We do not have nothing about that. We have an actual social life. Okay, we have friends, go out. It's incredible. You only need to be flexible about the economical situation or conflicts in the political, but the risk of Argentina is incredible. Came here, visit Argentina is incredible.
Yeah.
It's a
It's a
test.
test. It's a stress test and robustness check that can you
Yes.
handle the difficulties in Argentina, and if yes,
Yeah,
then you're able to make it anywhere.
but it's a great country. I love Argentina. And I'm very sad thinking in producing another country. It's very sad by me, but Wiagro is first, okay? Wiagro is my little boy, and Wiagro is first. Is Argentina don't have a condition economicals, okay? Because we have a people, have a lot of people. We have a lot of talent in Argentina, and the developed team is all from people from Argentina. I have an ecosystem and a startup ecosystem that we help each other. It's incredible. This we help each other. We need to help each other with another startups. We are very close and try to help each other all the time.
In which ways are you helping each other? And that's the impression that I've also witnessed immediately when I landed to Argentina, is that when you're trying to get to know the entrepreneurs, the investors, and other stakeholders who are influencing the ecosystem, people are extremely welcoming and helpful. But how do you see that helpfulness, and how do you do that?
Share information, or share the way that we solve the input problems, or share how can we solve another's problems of Argentinian economical things, or share the cost of an event. For example, we shared an stand between two companies to reduce the cost of the position. And we share information. Generally, we have a group in WhatsApp that said, I have this problem, and some companies, yes, I resolved this way. I could resolve making this way, and we are an ecosystem that help each other, not only in startups. The VC too help the startups, because these VC are from Argentina and know very well the Argentina problems. Okay, for this reason, can help a startup whose investment. Okay, yes, we are a strong ecosystem in Argentina that help each other. This is
That is fantastic. So it's a big
it's a more important
collaborative
thing.
community. I love that.
Yeah,
I really do. Well, Martin, thanks so much for sharing some of the obstacles and challenges that you're facing as an Argentine entrepreneur. Super glad that we had the opportunity to have this chat. So thanks a lot, Martin.
yeah. Thank you, Eric.